My top tip for students in looking after themselves at university is to accept yourself. Your unique background is what makes you who you are, regardless of race, gender, sexuality. And it's just about accepting that and being true to yourself.
My tips for students to look after themselves while at university is sometimes just be where your feet are, if you know what I mean. Like often you're missing home, you're on social media, seeing people doing other things, but sometimes happiness lies in just where you are, basically.
As hard as it can be, ask for help. You know, go to your SU, go to the people that are from the wellbeing department, find a tutor that you feel comfortable with.
So some tips that I would give to becoming more comfortable within your own identity is kind of taking things at your own pace first and foremost. I think there's kind of like a big pressure that changes happen overnight when often it's just a case of kind of just taking things at your own pace. Stopping seeking validation from others, practicing a bit of self-love. Often like we are our own worst critics, so just kind of when you look in the mirror, just kind of reminding yourself that you are great and kind of just keeping that positive thoughts going.
There's loads of groups, societies and things that are really inclusive and will have people from, you know, who identify in all different ways, and I think that when you start getting out there and making friends, your experience might become a lot better.
I think that LGBTQ plus people while at university can really gain some confidence by surrounding themselves with people that validate their experiences and validate themselves. I think having a real core group of people around you that kind of really do support you is really important in terms of gaining confidence and that self-esteem that really does push you forward in your academic studies as well.
I think it's also important if a student wants to look for help to make sure to know that there are safe spaces out there and to find those and what works for you.
I think there's a real pressure, particularly in the LGBTQ plus community, to use drugs and alcohol as a vice to not just meeting people but also to kind of form that confidence basically. And again, surrounding yourself with people that have similar interests to you. If drugs and alcohol isn't what you want to be doing, it's really important. PrEP is a preventive aid to stop the spread of HIV, and to access it, if you went down to your local sexual health clinic or asked for it through your GP, you'd be prescribed PrEP, and it is the best way to have safe sex and not spread HIV.
I genuinely believe that Hallam and the union, you know, the university and the union separately, they both do as much as they can to make sure that it's a good working environment, there's a great culture, and if there is anything that happens, that's obviously investigated in its own right.
If a student at university wants to find support, it's important to recognise that it should be a safe space for you. The university and students' union have a lot of resources out there to help you. There's no way that you should have to put up with abuse, and you can find a service that works for you.